Hey everyone, welcome back to Unwind and Release, the place where you come to focus on your mindset shift, personal growth, and create a fulfilling life. I'm your host, Portia, and today we're going to dive into finding yourself after birth. So for this topic, I feel like it was needed, it was necessary, and eventually it was going to come, and now it's here. I feel like for a lot of us women that have kids, even for those people that take care of other people's kids, I feel like we all kind of lose ourselves after birth, and most definitely after taking in children that are not ours, whether it's foster care, whether it's adopting kids. It is a lot. Especially for those stay-at-home moms, I kudos to y'all because I would love to be a stay-at-home mom, but gotta go to work. But I just want to come in here and, kind of like just dive into it a little bit because I feel like we all need to learn how to find ourselves after birth, after taking in kids and things like that, because we had a life before them, so we need to always dive into ourselves as much as we dive into our family. So, of course, we all know having a child is so beautiful. Like, going through the pregnancy, well, for me, going through my pregnancies, I love having the mom belly, feeling my baby move, kick, all of that great stuff. But when it comes down to it hurting, it hurts. But outside of that, of course, like having a little one that you're caring for, it is great. Like, it's just a different feeling. Like, it changes you. Like, to me, it changed me. But I feel like it really changes you and just makes you be more aware, and it's beautiful. But of course, like, let's be real, like sometimes that junk is exhausting. Like, you just be like, okay, I need a break, I need this time. Like, it gets you there sometimes, and I know I'm not the only one. And of course, we all know like our lives were gonna change after having a baby and stuff like that. Sometimes it get lonely, sometimes it's exhausting, and sometimes it is overwhelming, and you do want to have help, or you do want to, like have a little time to yourself, and it's nothing wrong with that. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Yes, back in the days and all that, how people talk about it, oh, the women's supposed to do this, that, and the third, why the man do this. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody's life is not like that. Some people still have it like that, where the man go to work, you get to stay at home with the kids, cook, clean, whatever, take care of the household, while the man do everything else. But it's not like that. Women nowadays, we work. We also come home, still take care of the kids, still cook, still clean, wash clothes, all that good stuff. So at the end of the day, if we need a break, let us have that break. And it's just that simple. And that's how I want to put it, because I don't want people to feel like, oh, she need a break from her family. No, I never said I needed a break from my family. It's just a point where sometimes I need my alone time, and I like my alone time. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and I can think, so there's nothing wrong with having alone time when you have a family, because at the end of the day, I don't need my kids coming in the bathroom with me while I'm trying to take a shower. That's my time to myself. Let me take my shower in peace. You know what I'm saying? So, like, those small moments by yourself means a lot. Especially if you have more than one child. It means a lot. And so, of course, like, your priorities change drastically when you have kids. Like, tremendously. And I feel like that's one thing that I really had to learn, like, priority wise, because I feel like I did have like my kids young, and I didn't have it all together. I didn't know what to do, and my mom had to really help out like a whole lot, because we didn't know no different. Like, our first child was really like our trial and error at that point. So I feel like as we of course kept having kids, it became a breeze, and it was just like a mutual feeling, like it was just normal at a point. So I can say priorities really change when you have that first child, because when you have your second, third, fourth, it doesn't change as much because they should have already shifted. But for me, my priority changed after I had my second child, because now, okay, I know what I'm doing. I need to do it by myself. Let me try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me try to handle everything. So, the first child, I had a lot of help. The second, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do everything. And then so from that point on, it just changed me in general. And it was a great change. It was a much needed change, because I was coming from childhood into adulthood. So, it was kind of like, it did a 360 for me. And I feel fine. I'm great with it. I love it. I love the person I became with having my kids, and now a wife as well. So I'm still in the learning stage of a wife. We officially make a year soon, and yeah. So yeah, I just feel like sometimes it is easy to lose yourself when having kids. Yes, your priority change. Yes, things get hectic. Yes, it get exhausting. Yes, sometimes it get lonely, but at the same time, you have to always remember, like, you were just you before having children. Like, you had your own ideas, you had your own, you know, goals that you had set outside of having kids, and you need to kind of like remember that stuff. Like, and that's why for me, I write a lot of things down, especially when it comes time to my goals, because I don't want to lose sight of what the bigger picture is, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like for me, being a mom and, you know, like trying to do, still kind of like get into myself, because I'm still finding my way as I'm making my videos and stuff like that. So I feel like I still write a lot of things down. My goals do change every now and then, because I don't want to do the same thing that I wanted to do 10 years ago, because I've grown into a different person, or not a different person, but I grow into being a better version of myself. And, you know, I'm all for that. So, and for me, I feel like after having kids, you kind of like get a little discouraged as well, especially for me when it came to like body wise, like how I looked, because I feel like for me, my body didn't just snap back in place. So especially having 4 kids within like a 8-year time frame, roughly, yeah, like a roughly like a 6-year time frame, for a 6 to 8 year time frame, it was a lot on my body. It weighed on my body really bad. And the last one was the worst, because I was in the hospital for about a month with my last one, because I had preeclampsia. So that was kind of like my wake-up call for like health wise for me, and you know, like getting serious about, you know, getting in the gym and stuff like that. So I feel like with the other children, I was just like, okay, well, once I'm done having kids, I'll just start working out and get myself together. But after that 4th one, I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna have any more. I'm done, and let's focus on me. So this is me focusing on me, and I'm going to get back to that person, or of course like a better version of myself, because I want to know who I am outside of my kids. Because I feel like when my kids get old and or older and move out, and you know what I'm saying, have that old thing going on, I don't want to be stuck here like, dang, I'm lonely now, like what am I gonna do? They gone, you know? So I don't want to wait till it's too late in my life to kind of like try to get into my passion, things I want for myself, or things that I like to do, because I'm too focused on my kids, or too focused on my husband, or too focused on trying to get a household together. Like, let me focus on me while trying to focus on everything else around me, because that's going to make me have more passion about the things that are around me. So I feel like us as moms, we have to get back to ourselves, like pour into ourselves. We can't just pour into everything around us, then we're going to be left empty and not have nothing like going for ourselves. So I just feel like for me, I don't want that. I want my kids to know, like, my mom, she was passionate about this, she really loved this, like you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, okay, well, my mom loved this kid because of this kid because of this. I want to know, I want y'all to know that I love all y'all equally. I love all y'all with everything that y'all doing. But I also have passions of my own. I want y'all to remember me by something else besides just loving y'all. Know that I love doing stuff too. Know that I love to do this. So if you want to do something with me, okay, well, my mom loves to paint. Let me set up a painting event with my mom, instead of like, okay, what can I do with my mom? What is she passionate about? What is she happy about? What does she like to do? Because I feel like for me and my mom like to sleep. I cannot really say like what my mom liked to do, because she was so stuck into work. She was so stuck into trying to make us happy and provide for us that she didn't really just pour into herself. And I don't want to fall behind and be like that, because I want to show my kids there's more to just having kids, pouring into your kids and not pouring into yourself, because we have to love ourselves first before we're able to love anybody else, you know. So, which I love my kids to death right there. I love my kids, they funny too. But outside of that, I just feel like for me and my mom really made me wake up and like just look at her life and just be like, what do my mom really like to do? Like, and I can't really say, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I ask her like, what you want to do today? I don't know what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? So I just be like, come on now. Like, so for me, I just want to have more to my life than just my kids. I want to have more to my life than just my husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to pour into me so I know what I want, instead of saying, okay, well, I'm gonna do what my husband doing. No, I'm gonna do what Portia wants to do, because Portia wants to do this right here. You know what I'm saying? So I do have hobbies, I do have goals, I do have a lot of things that I want to do, just because I want the experience of doing it, you know. So I just feel like there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you do have kids, you do have a family that you have to take care of. You want to have that passion for yourself. So for those moms out there that is going through that loneliness, that it's exhausting, I need some alone time, there's nothing wrong with that. Get your alone time. Don't stress yourself out. Don't exhaust yourself out. Get your break when you need it. It's nothing wrong with it. Get your breaks when you need it. If your children are asleep late at night, I mean, you know, whatever time you put your kids to bed, get a schedule together. If you need to get them to bed an hour earlier so you can have some time to yourself, get them to bed an hour early. You're the parent, make their rule. Put them in the bed. Sometimes I put my kids in the bed at 7 o'clock on the dot. Why? I need that quietness. Even though they're not probably going to be quiet, but they're going to be in their room making noise, and not in the living room, or not, you know what I'm saying, in the rooms playing loudly. They're going to be in their beds probably talking to each other, or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But they're not going to be up just making a whole bunch of noise. So for me, I did that because I know I need that quiet time. Sometimes I do let them go to bed a little bit later, but naturally 7 o'clock on the dot, they'll be okay. They're kids, they're young. My kids are 6 and under, so they're young, or 7 and under, so they're young. They don't know what time it is, so they know it's dark outside and it's time to lay down and watch some TV. So at that point, they all lay down, they watch a movie or watch a show or whatever, and they're quiet sometimes, but not all the time. So if you have to make those rules for your kids, like, okay, time to go to bed a little earlier tonight. You didn't even say early. Take a bath and get in the bed. You done eating your food? Take a bath and get in the bed. Or however you, if y'all eat, then take a bath, or take a bath and then eat, whatever. You done? Bed. Simple. And I feel like it took a minute to get them to that point, though, with putting them in the bed early. They figured it out. They learned. And a lot of people say, well, my family members say, like, when you get in the bed early, I was like, because yeah, I need that time to myself. And they were like, okay, well, I understand, I get it, because they have kids too, of course. So Everybody needs that break, and it's nothing wrong with getting that break. And I just feel like once we actually like have kids, I feel like our world more so revolve around the baby, because the baby need this, the baby need this, the baby need this. And I feel like that's where I lost myself once I got into being a parent for real, because I feel like my first child, like I said, I didn't know too much anything, so my mom helped me out a lot. So I didn't have to take on a big motherly role yet. But when I started, like when I had my second child, that's when I was just like, okay, it impacted me and it hit me kind of deep, because I'm just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? It's time to like lock in and do this by yourself. Well, not by myself. I had my boyfriend at the time, but either way it go, as a mother, I had to get up at nighttime, do this, get up in the morning time, do this. I had to kind of like figure it out. And I know it sounds crazy. It was fun for me because like I like to learn new things, and it was kind of the same thing, but at the same time I had to do it by myself this time. So it was different, and I really wish I would have felt like that with my first child, but I had my mom help right there with me, so it was kind of like it was her turn still. So with my second, it was my turn to take over and, you know what I'm saying, like really get into it. So I feel like that's when I kind of lost myself and my kids, because I had to, you know, revolve my life around them at that point, because at that point I was kind of like a stay-at-home mom, really not going to work. I was working from home, and my kids wasn't in daycare, so it was just like I had to manage it. So it was a lot, but I got through it, and it was kind of like it was a hard challenge, because I was semi-young or whatever, and I still had a lot of things I wanted to do. For me at that point, it was still like more so, you know, drinking and stuff like that. So I know that it was terrible, and that was what I wanted to do at that time. So when I had my kids, it was kind of like I'm not gonna breastfeed because I want to do this right here. So I didn't get that chance with my first two kids, but with my last two, I breastfed both of them, and it was great. It just with my third one, when I breastfed him, it was like he did not want to ever unlatch. He thought it was a pacifier, and it was like that was exhausting. And yeah, but I got through it, and my husband really never really just, you know, feed him, because I never just really gave him a bottle, because it was just easy to just, you know, whip it out and just say, here, eat, you know. So that part that was new for me, and that was a new thing I had to revolve my life around, because you can't eat this, you can't eat this, you can't do this, or you can't do that. And it was a lot, but it was a challenge that I was willing to take for my son, because that was his meal, you know, that's how he ate. So I feel like when we have kids, we have to change so much of us when we have kids. When you have kids or pregnant, you still can't eat certain things because you're pregnant. For me, I couldn't eat certain things when I was pregnant, put it like that. I'm not sure about everybody else, because everybody else's pregnancy is different. But for me, I couldn't eat certain things. I couldn't, you know, do too much exercising sometimes, because my body would swell up so bad. So everybody pregnancies are different, whatever. But for me, I couldn't do too much. Like however I walk, every time I walk, my fingers would swell up really, really bad, or my feet would swell up really, really bad. So I really couldn't do too much of nothing. But with my first two, I could walk, I could exercise, I could do whatever. But with my last two, I couldn't do too much of nothing. I swelled up so bad. It was, yeah, it was bad. So that's why I say, like, I feel like every pregnancy is different. So with each one of my kids, something was different. And like I said, with my last one, it was a great pregnancy, but it still was the worst one, because I ended up in the hospital. My baby ended up in an NICU, and it was like, it was new, it was different, and I was kind of like scared. So it still just makes you want to change so much in your life because of your kids. And when we do that, we have to also realize like our kids eventually are going to move out and leave us with a girl or a guy, or to go to college, or to, you know what I'm saying, go to work and want to move out in general so they can make their own rules. So we have to also realize like there's a time limit to how long you are going to have to revolve yourself around your child. So we have to like get back to ourselves, get back to things that we like to do, get back to things that we want to talk about, we want to think about, we want to just have that peace of mind. We have to get back to that. And sorry, my notes right here. But I just feel like emotionally it's gonna always be something, of course, with a child, whether they're sad, happy, mad, whatever. It's gonna always be something. We know that because they're kids. They don't know how to feel or what to feel or what they're feeling sometimes, and we have to kind of like just guide them through that. So at some point we have to be a therapist, and we have to learn like what are you feeling, why are you feeling this way. And with having 4 kids, it's a lot to learn on how this person feeling, on why this person feels. Your mind is all over the place. And I feel like for me, I did really great with it so far. Like I said, they're only 7 years under the age of 7 years old right now. So it's like I have a long way to go. But I feel like as of the space that I'm in right now, I'm doing really great. We're kind of like keeping a good head on my shoulders and staying focused on the bigger picture for me and my family. And as of right now, mentally, I'm fine, I'm great. Physically, body wise, I feel like I'm getting a lot more energy, and I feel like it's probably because of my workouts, and I have been eating slightly different, which kind of helps a little bit with everything. Just being able to wake up in the morning, stay up late if I need to, if somebody's sick, or you know what I'm saying, just keeping my health up to date as well. And I feel like motherhood just adds to who we are. It does not change who we are. It just adds to us. So it just makes us become even better, because now you have more challenges that you have to take on, more things that you have to get accomplished. And at the end of the day, once you accomplish those challenges, it feels great, because it feels like, okay, I'm a mom. I just made my son happy. I just made my daughter happy. I just stopped them from crying. You know what I'm saying? Like those little accomplishments, it changes everything. And it feels so good sometimes, because I just like, oh my god, like they listening to me. I just like, I know that's crazy, but I just feel like they really listening to me. Like they taking in what I'm saying, they listening. So just those small things for me, because I'm just like, I never really just listened to my mom, but at the same time, I don't know what I did at that age, but they listen. And I love that about my kids, because sometimes they don't listen at all because they be real mad, but for the most part they do hear you and they somewhat understand what you're saying, and they really just want to be cuddled with most of the time. Okay, so, and I know like after birth, not everybody body snatched back to that, you know, what we looked like before pregnancy. And for me, I'm one of those people. My body did not snatch back, and it did take a toll on me, because I just like, dang, like why my body couldn't do that. Like I really felt real like discouraged. I was like disappointed. I was very emotional, and it was not a great feeling at all. And of course I looked like that, you know, really just bloated. For my oldest is 7, so I've been looking like that for about 6 to 7 years, because I had a kid every 2 years, roughly, something like that. I think I had a child like every 2 years, because all my kids are like 2 years apart. So I've been, you know, been walking around like that for a while, and I just feel like after having my last child, just like, okay, I'm officially done. Like, let's pour into me. And I feel like a lot of us, after having kids, we have to also kind of like ask ourselves simple questions to kind of like get our mind to thinking like, okay, I done lost myself, or okay, I need to figure this out or figure this out because I need to get back into me. Even just asking simple questions like, what do I like to do? What do I want to eat today? What do I want to do today? Like, asking those little questions is going to let you know either you done lost yourself, with having your child, or you are losing yourself. Because you can say, I want to eat Chick-fil-A today, but then turn around, your child wants McDonald's. Are you going to go to those two locations, or are you going to tell your child, we're going to eat Chick-fil-A today, so you need to make up your mind on what you're going to eat, from Chick-fil-A? Because only reason why I say it like that is because us as parents, especially moms, we of course love our kids so much to where we are going to get what our kids want. For us fathers, the way my husband is, you're going to get something from him and that's it. So if I'm finna go to McDonald's, you're going to get something from McDonald's. If I'm finna go to Wendy's, you're going to get something from Wendy's, or you're just not going to get anything at all. For me, I ask my kids what they want. I'm the type of person, I'm just going to go to the location where my kids want to eat it because I know they're going to eat it. And I just don't like to waste money, especially when it comes to buying like those small fast food things, because I'm just like, if you're not going to eat it, we could just go home, you can make some cereal while I get my food that I want. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we have to think about those small things. Like, if you're going to go get this food right here that you want to eat, they need to get it too. And I done got to that point because I'm like, I know I'm not finna go to Chick-fil-A because my kids don't care for Chick-fil-A. I know I'm either finna go to Wendy's, McDonald's. I'm probably not even finna go to Burger King. They like McDonald's because of the McDonald's toy. And they like Wendy's because the Wendy's chicken nuggets are good. So I'm gonna go to either of those two places because I know they're gonna eat it. But for me, I'm not gonna always want McDonald's. I'm not gonna always want Wendy's. I'm more so, let's go get some seafood. So I probably order me some seafood and then just get them their food. I am that type of person sometimes because I just feel like that's what I want. But sometimes I just feel like, okay, I'm exhausted, I'm just gonna go get y'all food and go home. I'm just gonna get the same thing that they eat because at that point, y'all want that one. Y'all want it better. So I just feel like for me, or mothers in general, we do kind of side with the kids when it comes down to those small things, and that will make you lose yourself because at that point you feel like, okay, well, I ate McDonald's with y'all today, I just eat McDonald's y'all next time y'all get it, and so forth, until you think about like, okay, darn, I'm not getting the things that I like anymore because you do what your kids want. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we kind of shift and change, do things differently, put like that. We do things differently because our kids want certain things. So like, your kids want this certain toy, but you want them to have this toy. They're not gonna play with the toy that you want them to have, so go ahead and get them the toy that they want. Especially when it comes out to Christmas, because that be the worst. You get a toy for this child, they play with it for 5 minutes, and then go play with it especially when it comes out to Christmas, because you get them this toy, they play with it for 5 minutes, and then go play with the other siblings' toys because they don't want the toys that we got there. And I just feel like I just wasted my money. Like, so I just feel like certain things we don't realize that we're losing ourselves, but we really are losing ourselves or have lost ourselves just by doing those small changes. And like I said, it's easy to do that because we just think it's just a flow of things. We just, you know what I'm saying, just for today. But in reality, the next time you do it, you probably still be exhausted. You don't want to go to the place that you want to go to because they want the place and it's right by the house, or it's right up the street, or, you know what I'm saying, it's not too far. So sometimes when we do go eat someplace or whatever, you don't realize it because it's just in the moment type of thing. But after 6 months have gone by or 8 months have gone by, you realize like, dang, you haven't had this in a minute because of this reason. But you're not thinking about that until now you kind of think about like, dang, what I want to eat today, or dang, what I want to do today. So I feel like it's really easy to lose yourself, especially when having little ones that's going to tell you what they want. It's going to tell you like, hey mom, let's do this. So it's just like, because my husband here asked me like, you wanna go on a date today? I'm just like, yeah, where we going? And he's just like, what you wanna do? So for me, my biggest thing, I love to bowl. That's one of my hobbies or activities or whatever that I like to do, just for fun type of thing. Like, you're gonna take me somewhere, take me bowling. Overall, I just feel like certain things that we have to do to kind of like get back to being us and pouring into ourselves. So yeah, think about things that you like to do before having kids, like painting, journaling, drawing, whatever. Like, try to get back into those things to see if you still like it, because like I say, kids changes us, and it does shift us into becoming a even different person. So you can say that before you had kids you like to read, but now when you had kids, now you like to write. So it's like, it's going to shift you in a better way. It's not going to make it bad unless you make it bad. And that's how I look at it for me and my perspective of it, because when I had kids, I really thought it was going to be bad. I thought it was going to be crazy. I thought it was going to be like, I was going to be like, here, mom, get this child. I need my break. But it's really not that bad. Like, especially with having 4, it was a lot when I, of course, like kept having them back to back. Because I was just like, I never like officially like recovered from having that one, you know what I'm saying, previously. So it's just like, I never got the chance to kind of like pour back into myself for these last 6 to 7 years. And I'm just like, darn, like, I really just been more so focused on being pregnant, taking care of a child, having my child, taking care of 2 children, being pregnant, still taking care of my 2 children, having that child, taking care of 3 children, turn around, have another child while taking care of my 3 children, now having all 4 of my children together. So it's like, I never just got a chance to kind of like mentally like get back to me. And I feel like my life have been like up and down with that, because it's like, I try to do this or I try to do that, and I never like completely followed through with the things that I was doing, because I just felt like it was too much for me. I feel like I just had so much that I wanted to do and was doing, and it was just too much. And I just needed to just, you know what I'm saying, just take a step back and just think about, what do I really want to do. So I just feel like for me, I love to talk. I am very passionate about doing nails, and it's something I just like practice on the side. And my activity, I like to bowl. If we're like out doing something. But most of all, like, I have gotten into sports recently, like watching basketball and football games and stuff with my husband. It be real interesting sometimes. So I just feel like those are kind of like something new that I've got to. I like to watch it when I was like a child in like high school and high school, middle school, and stuff like that. But now as an adult, I've kind of switched and got back into it, because when I was like pregnant and stuff like that, I really didn't care for it. I was just there for the food at that point. So it's like, now I sit and watch it and try to figure out what's really going on, and kind of like get my mind, you know what I'm saying, back into it, because I'm just like, why did I really like miss out on watching these games for real? Because it don't really be interesting. So with all that being said, don't feel guilty about needing time for yourself. Don't feel guilty about wanting to pour into yourself. Don't feel guilty about putting your kids to bed early because you need that time. Don't feel guilty about those things. Everybody needs their moment. Everybody needs their time. Everybody needs to pour into themselves, because why continue to pour, you know what I'm saying, into your children, and you don't have enough to pour into them? You know what I'm saying? So now it's like you're exhausting yourself out. So when it's time for your kids to shine and be great, now you just just sit here not knowing what you want to do with your life. You know what I'm saying? So don't wait to the last minute to getting into you, because then it's gonna feel like you wasted your life. And you just don't want to feel like that. You don't want to feel like, you don't want your kids to feel like you made them or they made you waste your life. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I am taking my time to getting back to me. I am taking my time to, saying, bettering myself so that I can be a better parent and mother to my kids, and also a better wife to my husband. All I can say is give yourself grace. Take your time into pouring into yourself. It's not gonna be like an overnight process. It is gonna take time to get like your schedule together on how you're gonna be able to pour into yourself. What are you going to do to pour into yourself? And just see what works for you and your family, because every household is different. Of course, every person likes to pour into themselves differently. So take your time to think about that before just making any drastic change. Of course, because it's going to feel like you're wasting your time because now you don't know what you want to do. So give your time to think about what you want to do when you do have that free time, so it don't feel like it's wasted free time. And I know a lot of us go through like depression after birth. And for me, I can really say I feel like I only did that with one child that I had, and that was my third child. And I really didn't realize I was going through depression until after I got through my depression. I smile and laugh about it now because I got through it and I didn't even know that I was going through it. So for me, the way I feel like I went through it was I was just very to myself for a whole year, just about. I felt like I didn't really talk to anybody, try to make, say any friends, or really just socialize with people at all too much. And even with my husband now, I barely even said a couple of words to him sometimes. So it just felt like I don't know, it just did something to me after that one. It was just, I was more so quiet, didn't really say too much. And it was kind of like I was a ghost in my own home. So it was kind of different. And I can realize it now, it was different. Sometimes I just sit in a room and just sit in the dark and just sit here. Sometimes I wasn't thinking about nothing. Sometimes I was thinking about some stuff. But for the most part, the whole point of me saying that is I went through, I guess, a dark space in that moment, and realizing that now I needed that space. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go through like the crying and the going crazy and stuff like that. I was more so to myself. And I feel like I'm very grateful that I was able to get that time to myself, even though I still had to deal with my kids and stuff like that. But overall, like, even as there was them playing with each other and stuff like that, I was here. You know what I'm saying? Just in the bed, just laying down, like not doing nothing. And thinking about it now, I really don't think I could do that. I mean, I probably could, because it's just like more so just like chilling, relaxing. And I feel like that's probably what I was going through, but it's just the whole point of, even when it came down to like conversations and stuff like that, I wasn't too big on having conversations. Like, it was very blunt, and it was very, like real nonchalant, just like, okay, the type of thing. Like, I wasn't giving my energy out. And, I can tell in that moment, or, as I was going through it, that I had went through like a phase or something, because it was just, I felt like it was different. And I knew it was different because I wasn't being me. And not everybody knew, like, if I was going through something, or that's just how I am. because I'm just not typically around a lot of people in general. So for me to having to go through that stage and just not really having nobody in that corner because did nobody really know anything was great because I needed to go through that alone so that I can be who I am today. So now I can say looking back at it now, it was a bad space that I was in, and probably like a couple of months later, after I went to a doctor and stuff like that, I kind of like told my doctor like I just been more so in my own space, like just sitting here like wondering like why this life, what's going on with me, like you know what I'm saying, type of stuff like that. And they were just like, yeah, you may just be going through like a depression stage or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, I get it now. But I just feel like once I got over that stage, I just felt like things was kind of like, you know, something like back to normal. Like I was getting my, you know, personality and everything back up to be and stuff like that, and was able to be more interactive and talking and stuff like that. So I said that to say this. It's okay to go through depression. Everybody's depression stage is different. For me, I was more so just quiet and in my own space and not really having a lot of conversations with a lot of people like I normally would do. So if you are one of those people that have to go through like the mental breakdowns and stuff like that, it's okay to get help if you need that help, because going through those moments like that alone is going to be a lot, especially with you having, you know, saying little kids. For me, mine wasn't, you know, like I say that bad because I was just sitting here like not doing nothing. So for those people that have it harder and a little more severe, get help if you really need it. Tell your doctor what's going on, how you're feeling, because they may can subscribe you with something, or of course you can get some additional help, even with if it's with like a family member, or if they can provide you like with a nurse or something that can come help you out. Just get the help, because if you need the help, why make yourself suffer and you don't have to, you know? So think about those things before like putting yourself and your child through that trauma, because it's not going to always bring out the best in you when you have to go through stuff like that alone, because now you have it weighing on your shoulders as guilt or as nobody was there for you. But how are we supposed to know that you need the help if you're not saying it, you know? So for me, I don't have any guilt about it. I don't feel bad that people wasn't there, because like I said, in the day, it made me who I am today. And I'm very grateful that I was able to go through that and get through it, because my depression wasn't that bad. And it was kind of like chill. Now that I'm thinking about it, like it was very chill. I just sat here most of the time and just really didn't do too much of nothing and just sat here and just thought. So it was much needed. I can say it wasn't quiet time because my kids were still running around, but it was still just time needed, you know. All right, so for my final thoughts, I do have my notes right here, so I'm gonna be looking over here when I say this. It's normal to feel lost after having a baby, but you don't have to lose yourself. You are still you. Motherhood just adds to your identity, it does not erase it. Small steps like reconnecting with your passion and creating me time can help you with finding yourself again. Also, let go of the guilt. Take care of yourself. It's not selfish, it's necessary. So, of course, I do have a challenge that I want you all to try. I want you all to pick one small thing that you want to do for yourself this week. So it can be something very simple, whether it's like taking a walk, journaling about something that you really want to do, or even just reading a book, just simple, you know, nothing too much. And of course, I most definitely want to know if it worked for you, if you was able to get that, you know, saying that free time in for yourself, because just squeezing it into your day, whether it's for like 15 to 30 minutes, it's gonna add on eventually once you get your schedule together and everything. So just think about it, try to squeeze it into your schedule, and see do it work for you. But of course, if this episode has resonated with you, you can see my message on my Instagram or leave a review below and share it with your fellow moms. And remember, you are more than a mom. You are you. But of course, until next time, take your time, but most definitely take your time for yourself. It's needed. But see y'all soon.